Hello. So this is my second Avengers video. This is the game that I'm playing at the minute for fun. The other game that I'm doing on this channel is a sort of retro playthrough of the first Buffy the Vampire Slayer game. So if you're following that, thank you very much. Also thank you to all the subscribers and followers and comments and stuff. This channel's only a few days old and I'm already enjoying it, so thank you very much. So here's my team at the minute, all very classic looking, either sort of movie style or comic book costumes, and today I'm just going to go through all of the characters, a little bit of each of them, just so that you can see what they're like. Just because one of my friends asked what the other characters were like after I played Kate Bishop. So you've got Kate Bishop on the far right, all the other six are from the base game, but Kate Bishop was the new DLC, so I thought I'd play a bit of her first. So we'll get into it, and we'll just go through kind of their move sets and what they look like in the training room, just because I don't think many people show you that, and it's a bit easier than sort of showing you in a level where Jarvis is talking all the time. So each character you get to meet in turn in the story, and I know a lot of people have done a playthrough of the story. I might do one when they add the New Game Plus in a few weeks' time. I might do one then, just because it might be a bit more interesting with different skins and stuff like that than what you've seen before. But the story is pretty much like a sort of reassembling of the Avengers. It's very cinematic, and it's a kind of origin story for Miss Marvel, and it takes you through how you sort of bring everyone together to fight AIM. It's really good, so we'll do that at some point, I think. But right now, so we're playing Thor on the helicarrier, and yeah, we'll stay as Thor. Actually, we'll do Thor first. So you go to the war table. Now there's lots of different kinds of levels on the end game. Before, on Kate Bishop, you saw a vault mission. There are things called villain sectors where you get to fight Taskmaster or Abomination or a big sort of mech at the end. There's lots of other things as well, like little drop zones that only take sort of 10 minutes. Yeah, other things like that. But what we're going to do is go to the helicarrier and go to here. You might hear my cat messing about in a box in the background at the minute. My other half just bought the Switch Ring Fit game, and it came in a big box, and yeah, now she's obsessed with the box. So we'll go to the just harm challenge one, just to show you what's going on with it and how Thor plays, and we'll play him a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next character. So you get to see a little bit of everyone. Also, fun note, if you have either a PS4 or PS5, the colour of your pad changes depending on which character you play. So it'll go purple for Kate Bishop, green for Hulk, red for Iron Man, etc, etc. So now it's, you know, blue. So our hero companions, people on our team, will pick Kate Bishop just because, and we'll have a bit of Hulk. And let's go for Iron Man as well. They're just going to accompany us, but mostly it'll be me just showing you what it's like. So these harm rooms are basically like training exercises. So each character has their own training mission where they teach you how to play it, which is very helpful, and I quite like them. And also they're quite a good way of leveling up if you want to. And then they have these harm room challenges where they're different waves of enemies. You get 10 waves of enemies, and they're all sort of tuned to different types of battle. And yeah, this is what the harm room looks like. So this is your training simulator. So if I step on that plate, that will activate the training simulation. But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to have a look at his moves, and then I'll activate that, and people will start running at me, and I'll kill them all. So obviously you've got Thor's hammer. You have there you go. So you got your small attacks, so not weak attack, but like normal attack, and then your heavy attack is that one. So heavy attacks also have combos like that. You can also charge up either attack on any character. So if you hold down the button, you can do that. So that's holding it down 3 times, and then with power move you can summon lightning. So there's 3 characters that have a sort of power buff, I guess you'd call it, where if you hold the R2 button or right trigger, whatever you want to call it, with Thor it adds lightning to all of your attacks, and if you do a power move with it, it adds more lightning to it, like that. If you're Hulk, it adds a sort of Hulk damage gamma buff, and if you Miss Marvel, it adds her endomorph powers, so she can sort of dodge and use a bit more of her basic stretchiness, I guess. So there you go, that's your basic attacks. You've got a jump button, so you've got your usual jump attacks, and obviously Thor can fly. So you can do the usual floatiness, you can drop and then float again, you can float wherever you want, however you want. You can also fly. So if you fly around like this, you have lightning that you can zap things with. And then you can, when you're in the air, you can still fight people in the air. And then you can come crashing back down. So that's his kind of basic moves. He's got dodge button like everyone else has, can dodge things, and you can parry with the lightning as well. But yeah, that's his sort of basic moves. His ranged attack's quite fun. So obviously it's the hammer. You can charge it up like this and then throw it, and I've set it to spark off lots of different electric shocks, and the reason why it's red and glowing like that is because it's full of pin particles. So quickly, if we go to here, you can see on the, so you got 4 gear types on every person, and mine has pin particles. I'll do a little bit of sort of tips and tricks at the end of this video for gear and stuff like that. It can get a bit complicated, but there's an easy way of doing it. But just to show you, there's pin particles on there, and that means that if you hit them with that enough times or with enough force, the enemies can shrink, they go teeny tiny, and you do more damage to them, basically. So that's why his hammer's like that. Now, the good thing about this game is that you can basically kind of mold each character into how you want to play it. So because my hammer now lands and hits lots of little sparks of energy, that's something that I've added to it. You can change it so that instead of having that, it pins more enemies to the wall, so you can actually pin enemies to the wall by throwing the hammer like that. And they get stuck, and then you can go up to them and beat them up. So when you don't have your hammer, you can still beat people up. You can pin someone to the wall and then headbutt. You can still fight, and then you retrieve your hammer. Also, if you pin someone to the floor and then press your lightning power button, you can hit them with lightning while they're on the floor. That's another thing that I've added to the character. So all their special moves, especially ranged ones, you can adapt to however you want to play it, which is quite a cool thing to do. So that's it. Thor has 3 different special heroic moves. Here's the cat. She's probably going to go to sleep. Or just sit there, make things awkward. Oh no, she's off. So each character has 3 heroic moves. That's your special moves. His main one is the Bifrost. So you've got this ring on the floor, and wherever it lands, you want to activate it there. The Bifrost comes down, Thor lands. I've set it so that when I land, it gives me half my health back, but also it leaves this big ring of light. It looks like the Northern Lights, and whenever anyone's inside that ring, it heals them. You can change that so that when it lands, it has a big ring of red, and it basically adds heat, fire damage to it. So yeah, you can play this however you want to. His other one is that you can lift everyone into the air with whirlwinds, and I've set it so that while they're in the whirlwind, you'll see them go white, and it's because it's adding frost damage to them constantly. And then he blasts them with lightning. And then his third one is that he summons lightning to hit everyone around him, but it also buffs all the characters that you're playing with as well. So let's activate everyone and fight. Here's my little emote. Right, so this is his whirlwind attack that I was telling you about.
Your defeat was inevitable.
Oh, and everyone else is taking people out for me as well. It's kind of them.
You will all kneel.
Here we go.
You will all fall.
So, if I want to pin him, just do that. And there he is, pinned. And constantly taking damage, and then I could just blast him and get my hammer back. So it's quite fun. Let's see if we can get this guy as well. So he's now pinned to the wall. Again, blast him, he dies. Hammer back, and we're back. So this is quite an easy level. Oh, there's a takedown. Oh, Hulk's doing it. Alright. He's dead. Hulk's got some fun takedowns, but so's Thor as well. So hopefully I can show you a couple of those and then we'll move on to someone else. But you get the gist anyway of how to play people. So you've got different combos of different things. This is your other buff. That's your other special move. So lightning comes down and blasts everyone while you're fighting. Lots and lots of lightning. And it's also made everyone else kind of glow blue, which means that they've got like a buff to Warrior's Fury buff. And final special move is the Bifrost. So I've set it so that when it goes red, it does the most damage, like now. There you go, you land, get your health back, and there's your string of Northern Lights. And that ring of Northern Lights, that sort of ring that's around everywhere, will heal us, as it's doing now. So that's cool. I actually quite like playing Thor. He's one of my favourite characters on here. And I think I've just tweaked him to how I really enjoy playing him with all the different perks and stuff, so I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, as I say, you can fly up in the air, kill these guys. You can lock on this game, but I just always forget to. So I just tend to attack people as and when they're near me. Oh, here we go, there's a takedown. Let's see if we can get some other takedowns to show you. These yellow things get your heroic attacks back. They'll recharge your heroics. So what you can do is set a certain perk, one of your levels that you can add to it, to drop heroic orbs whenever you do a takedown, which is really handy. So I very much recommend that if you can, because it just keeps your power up all the time, so that you can do as many special moves as you want to. People are shooting me, that's rude. So yeah, there's Thor. That's
Anyone else?
a few levels as Thor. I'll do his special again, so you can see everyone get flown up into the air a bit more. There we go. And the longer you hold it, obviously, the more frost damage it does. and then they get killed. And you can also do cool things like throw in your hammer, and then as you run, catch it and hit the ground with it, which is quite fun. Pin that guy. There we go. And get the hammer back. Cool, so that's Thor. Let's move on to someone else. So we do Return to the Quinjet. The cat is now asleep behind me, or about to go to sleep. You're not? She is. So select hero or companion. Next we'll do a bit of... we'll just go down the bottom line first. So next we'll do Captain America. And keep the team the same. So all the costumes that you can see on this, all the outfits that are like their sort of classic costumes, are the ones I've set on here, but they're all ones that are completely free in the game. You can unlock them all like that. There are some that you can pay for, and you can either pay for them with real money or with credits that you earn in the game. So it's all unlockable for free if you just, you know, want to work hard enough to do it. We'll do the same one again, and I'll just go through like I did with Thor. We'll go through Cap as well. Launch mission. So with these characters as well, you have along the side here, as you can see, nameplates that you can unlock as well as skins. So if you want to individualize all your characters and make them look quite classic, or have a theme in your nameplates, you could do that as well. So Captain America, there he is. So usual normal attacks like that, and you've got heavy attacks which are more sort of shield based. Again, you can charge it up, so that move, when you hold it down, that takes out people's shields. So if there's a character with a shield, that'll stop their shield, and then you can go in with a combo. With your shield, you do a shield bash, hit Iron Man out of the way. That hits people up into the air, and then you can juggle them in the air. Obviously you can mix and match those moves as you see fit. He's got his usual dodges like everyone has, so he just kind of rolls out the way and you jump. So instead of flying or grappling hook like Black Widow, or you know, teleporting like Kate Bishop, Captain America has a double jump, classic video game double jump. There we go. Which is quite fun. You can also run up walls. So if you run near a wall, press jump, he'll run up it. And then you can attack from there as well. So you can jump in the air and attack like Thor, and then you can bash down with your power move, which is quite handy. Obviously his ranged attacks are the shield. So you can throw the shield, you can also kick it back at them. It's very Winter Soldier. The movie, obviously not the character. So you can throw it as normal, but the good thing is with this one, you can throw it, you can actually hold it down and then select lots of different enemies. And then when you let it go, it'll hit and ricochet off all of the enemies. And then you can go in for another hit when it comes back to you, and you kick it back. And it'll hit more enemies. It's very cool. That's also one of his specials, one of his heroics, is that you can just press it and it will hit as many enemies as is around you. His other one is a sort of rally cry, which is that he slams the shield down, and everyone that's around you, if they're on your team, they get a buff, like with Thor. If they're not on your team, then you get all the attention of them onto you, so you draw all the attention onto you, and then you can beat them up. His ultimate heroic move, which is the L1 and R1 that you can see in the bottom right hand corner, is a Brooklyn Brawler, which basically it puts you into this sort of crazy fighting stance where you can just constantly hit enemies with really strong attacks, and it lasts for a good, sort of 15 seconds, something like that, where you can just beat the crap out of people. So that's pretty much Cap as it goes. So the little emote that I've added to him there. You got loads of moves from the movies and some from obviously different comic books as well. As Cap, the other thing with Cap is obviously that he has a shield. So when you press block with Captain America, you can block things but also deflect stuff. So if people are shooting at you, you hold that and you can actually parry it and hit it back at people. Also, when you're running, you can hold the shield. It makes you run a little bit faster, but also obviously shields you from attacks so you can get into battle. So we'll play a bit of Cap and see what it's like.
Take him out. Great job.
So there's one. And select all these guys. Throw the shield, kick it back, take them all out. Just wait for them to send the next wave. Here we go. So this is the special move, where his shield throws automatically, and then you catch it. That's took quite a few out. Takedown out of it. And another one. Murder. That was just straight up murder. Some of these takedowns when they're on humans, they do look pretty savage. I thought it was going to be another takedown, but they just died. Popped his head up. I like that one, it's cool. I do like the ones where you can affect the robots. Like there's some people that, like when Kate Bishop hits the robots, if it's the final hit, it'll like blow half of their body off and there's just two legs standing there. It's quite fun. And he will obviously rip their head off. There you go, that's a parry. And we'll send the shield flying at everyone. So his rally cry is like this. So that's buffed me and my colleagues, people that I work with on the Avengers, and that lasts for a little while as well. It makes you a little bit more powerful. So you'll see it says rally cry on the left hand side, and it'll just count down the seconds. Pick up some of these. So we get some more enemies. Here we go. So this is your ultimate.
That's your last mistake.
So it puts you into this stance, and now you can just throw your shield constantly, and it's quite effective at just killing, well, especially killing bosses. You can just sort of stand there and nail them with it. Also works in the air, and it works with throwing things as well. So yeah, that's how to play Cap. Haven't had any enemies where I can sort of deflect something to show you, but I can parry. There you go, parrying. Thanks, Iron Man. Tell a lie, these guys are shooting at me. Maybe I can do that with these. No, they're just focusing on Iron Man. Come on, shoot at me. Oh, and I just get absolutely nailed with every single shot. There we go. Wasn't the best example. Apologies. Axe kick.
All right. Who's next?
See if we can do it again, then we'll move on. Come on, shoot at me. I absorbed the attack but didn't actually deflect it. Go on, shoot at me. There we go. See? I can do it. Right, now after that, let's go to someone else. So especially while you're running with your shield up, you can deflect things, but it is a thing that you have to get the timing right to parry them. Obviously I haven't got that yet because I haven't played him for a little while. So now we'll move to Black Widow. And there she is. So, same again. Homeroom Challenge 1. And we'll see what happens. So obviously Black Widow doesn't really have any special powers, but what she does have is cool gadgets, guns, things like that. Very acrobatic. And when played right, can be sort of quite skillful. You can dodge and weave between different battles and help everyone out, as well as taking people out. She's, yeah, a character that I've played quite a lot. I put her in a sort of movie-esque catsuit so you can see it. As I mentioned, each character has lots of different skins. These are all the ones that I've unlocked in the game, apart from that one, which was a free Virgin Media one, Verizon, wherever you are in the world, and that one, which was a pre-order skin, because I pre-ordered this game because I thought, it's Marvel, I don't have any other games that I'm playing at the minute, I'm going to pre-order it, and it gave us a pretty cool skin out of it. So it's more like a sort of classic, like PVC clad comic book Black Widow with the bright red hair. It's quite cool. They recently did the short hair Black Widow from the 90s, and I bought that with some credits that I earned in the game. So yeah, all of them, you're able to do that. You also got different emotes that you unlock. That's mine, where she flips the nightstick or baton, whatever you want to call it. Tonfa. Takedowns, which you can unlock or buy with credits in the game or with real money. And lots of nameplates that I've unlocked just by playing missions, and they've been in random loot boxes. Some from really famous comic books, some are covers, posters, all sorts of things. So yeah, anyway, fighting as Black Widow. So you've got regular attacks, and then your heavy attacks are with the Tonfa, which add the electricity. Again, you've got the charge up, so that will take out their shield, just like Cap. And then your power move, you charge that up, and it's explosives. With those, you can change them. Again, I've got them set as little fiery explosives, like that. But you can change them to electric or ice, anything like that, whichever you see fit. She's got her dodge, and then if you keep pressing dodge, you do backflips like Catwoman in Batman Returns. You can, there you go, you can backflip. So obviously we can jump very, very far in playing Black Widow. There we go. But also she has a grappling hook, which means that you can grapple onto ledges, and you can also swing from ledges as well.
You're about to be toast.
So I've activated some enemies, so I'll show you what it's like to play as Black Widow.
Enemies down.
You can use the grappling hook to actually get to enemies. bit like Scorpion Spear. Get over here kind of thing. Go straight to them. It's quite fun. So you can do that and get them to come to you. Now obviously Black Widow is someone who uses guns a lot in the comics and in the movies. So you've got fully automatic guns here. Shoot at these guys. You can change to pistols, which require you to obviously keep pressing the button to shoot at people. And then my favourite one, which is the high caliber, it's a basically one shot. If you charge it up, it takes people out in one shot. It does a lot of damage. Or you can just use it as a one shot like that. If I actually hit someone, there we go. So you've got 3 types of bullets, or guns I guess, and you can change them as and whenever you want to, but also you can add different perks to them as well. So that's her ranged attacks. And here we go with her heroic moves. So the first one is, just got nailed. There we go. The first one is her support heroic, which is invisibility, so she does this. Makes herself and everyone around her invisible. And also I've added like a shock to the shock wave, so everyone will stay invisible like that.
Really?
The shock damage actually took out all the robots, but if you stay invisible, people can't see you, and you can also sneak up on them and do takedowns. It's quite handy. So that's your support heroic. And you can whip around people. There's a takedown. I say when I've played online, she's probably one of the most popular characters. So she's a good one, definitely to sort of get to grips with the combat of the game. Weave in and out and fighting people whenever you can. And then go to fight someone else, do a takedown, go back into the fight. So it's worth getting to know her just to get the fighting down and the timing. So her other heroic move is the Widow's Bite, which is from the Gauntlet. So just like in the cartoons or the movies or anything like that, when she aims, the Widow's Bite is like a little electrical shock and it just drains their health like this. So these ones, again, you can adapt to however you want to play. So I've got them to like stick to like tack onto people. But they can also tack onto the edge of walls like that. You can also have them to sort of stay static in the air and just hurt people around them. So it depends however you want to play, but this is how I've set them up. Everyone else is just getting in on the action. Also, the drop kick is one of my favourite moves, especially if you boot someone off a ledge, which I can't do because they're all getting killed. But it's quite fun. Let's see if I can do it somewhere else. Oh, it's him. So Black Widow's third and final heroic is that she's got a staff. There you go, I can boot this guy up here. Stop shooting me. There we go, nice and fun. So her final heroic move is that she puts her 2 batons together. I'm getting nailed while I'm trying to talk to you, sorry about this. There we go. There we go, like that. Turns it into a kind of lightning rod and just kick the crap out of it like that. You can use all your skills, but she's just using the staff instead. So you could do, that's your shockwave move, that's your sort of power move, and then you jump in the air and do it. Adds a bit more to it. It also buffs up your your ranged moves as well. So that's her 3 main moves. Yeah, so that's how to play Black Widow a little bit. As I mentioned, just kind of change her to suit how you play. And get absolutely nailed again. There we go. I'm usually better at this because I'm concentrating more, but right now I'm just trying to get the point across. Okay, and you've got to take down while we're invisible. See how when I go near the other characters, they turn invisible as well. Right, so that is how we play Black Widow. And we'll move along to Miss Marvel. So I hope this has given you like a little taste of each character. I don't think anyone's done this before, as far as I can tell anyway, on YouTube, so hopefully it'll help. Go to Miss Marvel. As I mentioned, she's probably the main character in the story mode. Someone that I didn't know too much about until I played this, and then I read some of her comics. I got a couple of cheap graphic novels and read them, and she's really fun. I actually really like the character, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's going to be a Miss Marvel TV series, probably going straight to Disney Plus, but yeah, I'm very excited for that after playing this. It's kind of got me into her character, actually. And even though she's not one of my favourite characters to play, just because she hasn't got the long-range attacks that I quite like doing, and she's probably not as adaptable in the environments as other people. She's ridiculously powerful. And my other half likes playing as Miss Marvel the most, I think, just because she just has these insane moves. I'll try and show you that as much as I can. And this time I won't accidentally go into the ring and activate all the robots like I did last time. Don't know if you noticed that. So here we go with Miss Marvel in a sort of classic comic book costume. You can get lots of other costumes as well. And so we've got polymorph attacks, so that's your basic attacks, and then boom, that's your basic combo. And your power moves are like this. So as you can see, they do a lot of damage. If you hold the buttons down, you can go through people's shields, or this is your power move. Posh. You can kick people across the room with that, or kick through doors if you need to. There you go. So, air attacks. This is probably the one that is most effective. You do this, and then you can just keep them in the air, juggling them. So when you press the right trigger, R2 on this one, you do the polymorph. It's a bit like Thor, you make her a little bit taller and her moves get added polymorph abilities like that.
I'm kind of disappointed it's over.
So, usual dodge with Miss Marvel, she slides around on the floor. To get around, she uses her arms like Spider-Man, I guess, and swings off things like that. So she kind of flollops everywhere. You've got running attacks like everyone else. So her three abilities, her heroic abilities, are the support ability is a healing spirit. So she jumps into the air and sort of celebrates, and then she can heal you and everyone around you. So it's quite handy to have her on your team, especially if you're playing alone and you've got quite a tough mission. It's quite nice to have her on your team if you're not playing her. The other one is a high five, which is her doing a high five, but it's a massive hand and she slams the enemies into the wall. It's not that powerful. but it can be great to get people away from you, or just to sort of break up a crowd of enemies. And the last one is to embiggen, which is her way of saying she grows. Embiggen is her word, and she grows really massive, and then you hit enemies with the huge fists and stuff. So that is how to play Miss Marvel. Let's put it into action and see what happens.
Let's get this party started.
Here we go. She's a lot of fun to play. Looks like Iron Man's taking care of business. There we go. Wait for the next wave. So this is the healing spirit. And as you can see on the left hand side, it says healing spirit on there. You can hit people with your ranged attacks with your long arms like that, but it doesn't go very far. So that's one thing to notice, that she doesn't have the ranged attacks like other people do. But you can grab people with your hand. If you hold it down, you can grab them and squeeze them or slam them on the floor. So I'll try and do that to show you. There we go. You can slam him on the floor. Grab this guy. Give him a squeeze. Here is the high five. Boop. Hit them against the wall. And let's take down as Miss Marvel. She is a lot of fun to play, I have to admit. Even though she's probably not my favourite, as in the person that I play a lot, she's a hell of a lot of fun. So now we can embiggen. You grow like that, and then all your moves change, and they're all exaggerated. You can spin around like that. Now that is really handy if you're facing like a big boss or a big mech kind of thing, and you can slam them against the wall. You can hit people, you can do takedowns while you're embiggened as well, and she just slams her hands down. Obviously she just walks around like a big giant, and you can hit everyone, and then you shrink down back to your normal size. Some of these. There we go. Just hoping to get another takedown in, because some of her takedowns are quite fun, but everyone just is too good at beating people up for you.
Still got it.
I can do this.
Let's try again. Yep. Ah, there we go. Love it. So yeah, very fun to play, and she's probably the person you'll play the most during the story. But don't let that put you off, because yeah, a hell of a lot of fun, but also gives you quite a lot of scope to do different things on the battlefield and heal everyone as well. So that is Miss Marvel. So let's move on to Hulk. And then we've just got Iron Man to go, and that's the 6 main characters. Cat is still fast asleep behind me. Right, So here we go as Hulk. Hulk does take a little while to get used to, just because he's a bit different to everyone else. A little bit slower, but just obviously all about the power. And I've put him in the sort of first Hulk movie kind of skin, which you, as I say, you can unlock in the game by doing his challenge card. Every character has a challenge card, and I'll talk about those a little bit at the end. So go to the same one and do some of his moves. I do like playing Hulk just because you can smash everything and take on much bigger enemies and actually just kind of wrestle with them. It's very fun. Oh, Thor's turned up for work. Pinged in. So here we are, back in the harm room. And here's Hulk. His little emote. Getting all cranky. So he moves a little bit slower than most people, but you can run a little bit as well. To get around, you have to jump and maintain the jump like that. So keep hitting it to go further and higher. He can also go up walls like that. So a little bit like Captain America, but not as stylish. Right, normal attacks. Normal combo. Power attacks are all about grabbing the ground. If you hold down his normal attacks, he actually grabs people, and you can use them as a weapon. I'll show you that in a minute. If you hold his power attack down, slam on the floor. Like that. So like Thor and Miss Marvel, you hold the R2 button or the right trigger and you have like a sort of a Hulk mode. It basically turns him a bit more green and adds extra gamma damage to all of his attacks. You need to build that up to get it, basically. So the more you fight, the more like gamma energy you can add to your moves. If you charge the power button up and then keep hitting it, you do more damage, more shockwaves, and then a big one at the end which will send everyone into the air. But as usual, you can mix and match with these moves, and you've got fighting in the air. He's going red because I think I've got pim particles on his melee attacks, and then you can slam down on the floor. He's got the usual dodges. He sort of scrambles away. And you've got the usual way of sort of parrying and hitting people with the right trigger. Ranged attacks as Hulk, he picks up a little bit of debris. And you've now got this little arced crosshair that wasn't there before Christmas. They've added that. So now it shows you where you're going to throw things, and it's going to arc to hit you. So that is how you take out things. With a small one, if you hold the button down, he picks up a big bit of debris, which does more damage. So with that ranged attack, you can change it so if I do that and throw it, see there's a big explosion. I've added that explosion to it as a perk that you can unlock, and that will basically hurt anyone in the vicinity. Or you can have the rocks have a bit more strength to them, and they don't break, they just roll and take more people out as they roll. You can change them, as I mentioned before. You change all the characters to how you want to, but that's just how I like it. And yeah, here's carrying his favourite rock. So yeah, you just hold it down, bigger piece of debris, does more damage. It takes a bit longer to get there, but it does the trick. And his heroic abilities in the corner. L1 is your taunt, and you kind of scream and buff everyone up as usual in your team, but also, again, it takes all the enemies' attention onto you. which is quite fun. And the R1 button is stranglehold. You kind of run towards people and you can either slam them down on the ground and create a shockwave. I've created like a sort of gamma mist. You'll see it where all this green mist comes out, and whoever's standing in that will get hurt. They get gamma damage, like poison basically. And then the third one is a thunderclap, which is you clap your hands together and it sends a shockwave. You can adapt that to however you want to play it as well. So whether you have a smaller shockwave that's more powerful, or more of a sort of I guess like an aimed shockwave where it goes straight ahead of you. I've just done it so that it just causes as much damage as possible near to me. So let's play Hulk for a bit, but as I mentioned, a lot of his moves are to do with grabbing enemies and using them as weapons. Can't do that until we've got an enemy. So let's beat up this guy until Thor throws his hammer and stops me. Come back here. There we go. So you pick him up, you can either use him as a weapon, you can grab 2 people as well if you upgrade it, or you can slam him on the ground like he does in the first film. To Loki. Still one of the best scenes in that film. This is Stark's shield. Let's go and grab another one. Or you can slam them down to kill them. Let's grab this little guy. Come here. Jump in the air and slam them. Let's see if I can get 2 people on the go. Kate's already killed him. So as you can see at the top now, I've got a bit of gamma, that's your green energy, and that's what it looks like to add gamma energy to your attacks. Also, the more you do that kind of attack, the more health you get back. Very helpful. And he kind of heals himself. Let's grab this guy. See if we can grab another one. That's plenty here. And you can use them, and then you can discard them. Right. Next wave we'll do heroic moves. So this is your taunt. So anyone who's got that yellow symbol above their head has been hit by the taunt, and they will try to attack me. And you get extra damage for killing them while they've been taunted. This is your stranglehold. So he runs, when you press it again, hits the floor, and then all the gamma energy comes out. So there's all your poison. And that will hit anyone that comes into this ring, basically, with gamma poison. And I do have 2 of those because it's another perk that I've added onto Hulk.
Okay, I think that was all of them for the time being.
So I can do it again. And you can grab enemies with it as well. Do that, and then they come towards you. You see they start getting the green health coming up. Let's get out of the way of these guys because they just explode. And then this is your thunderclap. Pretty much takes everyone out around you. Nice and helpful. Drone was having a good time. There you go, so that's a little bit of how to play Hulk. Bit of a belly flop there. Haven't really done any takedowns as Hulk. Be nice if we could get one. There we go. I love the way he just chucks them behind him. Go up to that guy. Thanks, Thor. So a lot of this game as well is ducking and weaving and trying to dodge different attacks, which I haven't been concentrating on here just because I've been trying to show you what it's like. But yeah, when you're about to be attacked, there'll be a little triangle above people's head, and if you see that, you press either the dodge button to get out of the way or the parry, like that, and you can parry them. Let's see if we can get it right. There we go, and that's how you parry. You sort of let out a mini gamma shockwave. There's another takedown. And another. Let's see if I can show you a... Right, that's how to dodge and get shot at the same time. And that's how to parry. So I can do it, but I just chose not to. Honest. And that's takedown. So yeah, this is the basics of how to play Hulk, sorry. And he is a lot of fun. I do like just getting into massive rolls and beating up everyone at once. And doing this as well. There we go. That is playing Hulk. And last but not least, Iron Man. So I'd say Iron Man is probably one of the most, I don't know, adaptable characters. He's the one that you can probably change the most, I think, in terms of like his fighting and how to do things and what to do with his specials. So I'll show you how I've got him set up, but as I mentioned, you can set him up however you want to. Got a bit of a classic look going on for Iron Man. I've heard it on the grapevine that War Machine is coming into this at some point, which is cool. I think that would be great. I just don't want him to be too soon, because we've already got Iron Man and we've already by the end of this month or next month going to have 2 Archers in Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, so I'd rather not have 2 Iron Man characters. I just want a bit more variation, so hopefully they add him a bit later on down the line. As I mentioned before in my last video, I mean, the characters that I most want really are Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, because I think they'd be the most interesting to play. But we'll see what happens. I know that Black Panther's coming pretty soon with a big Wakanda update, and that's going to be really cool, especially because we don't really have anyone who is has the sort of skills that he does in terms of like the, you know, having the claws and things like that. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how they do his fighting style and his specials. But here we are with Iron Man. There's this little emote that I've got going on. So with Iron Man, you've got your normal attacks, and then your power attacks are actually whatever ranged attack you have selected. So that's why I say that he's the most adaptable, because you can change his power attacks. So they're obviously your repulsors, which you can charge up, or you can just shoot them like that, or you can run along and shoot them like in the film. And obviously when you've got repulsors activated, they are your ranged attack and can be charged up as well. There are other ways of doing repulsors, so you can change them to do different things, but that's your basic repulsors. And obviously you can fly and do all of the things that he does normally, but while he's flying. Just like Thor, you can fly around like this. You can still dodge in the air and turn around. and shoot repulsors while you're in the air. So while you're flying like that, another thing that I've added to this is turbo boost, make them go a little bit faster. Just for when you're in levels where they're huge and you want to get to somewhere quite quick. When you hold down the normal button, he does an uppercut and that'll get rid of someone's shield, and then you can start juggling them in the air. But obviously when you hold down his power button, as I mentioned, it's just a repulsor. When you go to the next type of ranged attack, it's lasers. So lasers like in Iron Man 2. And when you add these to your moves, he lasers everyone like that. Or you can charge them up and, exactly like in the end of Iron Man 2, spray them everywhere. Same when you're doing your attacks. I like the fact that it leaves the sort of burnt pattern everywhere. And his ranged attacks need to charge back up, so as you can see at the top, the yellow meter, that's your ranged attacks charging back up. So it's a little bit different with him. You haven't always got unlimited ranged attacks. You just need to wait. You go into the air and you can use your lasers like that, or charge them up. Hit people from the ground all the way up. Again, when you're flying, use the lasers. Last but not least, it's my favourite, which is the rockets. Now, the rockets probably do the most damage. You can only have sort of 3 or 4 at a time, and then they charge up again, but they are the most effective because they explode and they can take out several people all in a little bunch. So here's your rockets. And you can do different things to those as well, so you can make the explosion a bit bigger, you can make them have a different charge on them, things like that, but wait for them to load up. With the rockets, when you're doing ranged attacks, you can charge them up like that and then select multiple people like you can with Cap's shield and with Kate's arrows, and when you set them off, there'll be lots of different little rockets like that, 6 of them, that all fly around, hit the target and then explode, so you get like a double hit with them. So that's quite cool. Or you've got just like a regular rocket like that, and then when you charge them up when you're on the ground, it shoots 3. So you charge them up, hit the target, and then they explode like that. And again, when you're flying, you can use rockets. I quite like how they sort of fly out of the suit and fly after him. And now we have Iron Man. So his 3 ultimates or specials that are in the bottom right hand corner. Your support one is the big dome that you've probably been seeing him sort of deploy. It's like a big electromagnetic dome, and that will electrify enemies, but also it deflects people's ranged attacks. So if someone's shooting at you, it deflects it right back. That's something that I've added onto it. Again, play it how you want to, but that's something that I've thought was quite handy. His offensive attack, not that people get offended by it, but I mean it's obviously the arc reactor shoots the unibeam out of the arc reactor, and you can kind of scan the area with it, destroying people. And then the third and final one, which is the one that everyone likes, is the Hulk Buster. So you get the big Hulk Buster armor, you get all the fighting style of Hulk, but you can also shoot all of your ranged weapons as the Hulk Buster as well. The funny thing about that is that when you deploy it, you can, if you press the L1 and R1 buttons once, just tap them, it'll deploy underneath him and Iron Man will get into it. if you hold them down, you can place wherever you want it to go, and either go to it and get into it yourself by pressing square or X on the Xbox, or one of your teammates can get into the Hulkbuster. So you can give it to someone, say if they're dying or they just need a bit of help or whatever, you can put them in the Hulkbuster for as long as you'd normally be in it, and they get in it and use it as normal, which is quite cool. I didn't realise that until a couple of months ago. I thought it was quite fun. The other thing that you can do when you block as Iron Man, you can just block like that as normal to parry, and obviously he's got his normal dodging like that. You can also dodge and then let out rockets, which is quite fun. But if you hold down the block button, it creates this handy barrier which just stops projectiles from getting in, and the more people hit it, the more it goes from green to red and then disappears. You can do that anywhere around you. You can only deploy one, but you can deploy them in the air like that. So if you put it next to you and then you take out other people, it's quite good. You can also have it so that when you're near the energy barrier, it gives you more health, and you can change it as and when you want to. You can always change things on the fly. So here is your menu. Go to skills, and these are all the skills that you just unlock normally. Then you go to the next one, and these are all the ones that you can change. So you unlock the top skill, like this one here, and then it gives you 3 other skills. So here is Unibeam deals more damage to a target, blah blah blah. You can choose that one or that one or that one. You read what it is, see if you like it, try it out, set it up however you want to, so that you can do that with all 3 of these. So you've got different specialities. These are all for your heroic moves. So there's your arc overload, there's a Unibeam, and there's your Hulkbuster, which I'll do in a minute. And with these you can change how they are. So with this one you can add 3 small Unibeams instead of a long sort of sweeping attack, or you can add multiple attacks with your repulsors and your Unibeam. I prefer to have this one where it just lasts longer, so you can just hit one enemy with it and it does greater damage. That's just how I've set it up. But as I mentioned, you can change all sorts of things. You go to Mastery, which is the last level or the last sort of tier of your skill tree, and again you've got all of these different ones that you can choose. So whichever one is highlighted is the one that I'm using. So if you're flying around, I've got the Afterburner, which meant that I was going faster. Or you can do this one where it shoots out little rockets and people shoot at those instead of at you when you're flying around. And then the third one is just increases your ranged attacks while you're flying. I just felt it was a bit more beneficial to me to get places faster, to get to the next place in the mission. So that's how I've got it set up. But as I mentioned, these are all different ways and every character as well, that you can change how you play, test them out, see what you think, and then use them. So that's your skill trees. So your first one is, on every character, this is all the same. Your first one is all the ones that you unlock and use in battle. So these are all new attacks that have been learnt. Speciality is usually your heroic abilities and what you can change about them. And then the third one is all your other stuff. So whether it's your ranged attacks, your combat, your intrinsic energy. So that's how you change people. And you unlock things using this challenge card. Every character's got a challenge card. You do these little challenges, as I mentioned in the Kate Bishop video. Weekly challenges down here, these refresh, usually I think it's every Thursday. You do these weekly challenges, it gets you 11 of these points. 11 points will get you, 3 levels unlocked usually. And you just go along unlocking these. So I've unlocked this classic Iron Man suit free in the game just by doing whatever this challenge is. So it might be like this one says, defeat enemies while you're airborne. So while you hover, defeat enemies, do 60 of those, you get 11 points that week, and you unlock stuff. And that's how you get credits to buy things like those. It's how you unlock different Iron Man suits. but these are for every single character. So there's one, it's got a nice little gradient to it. So anyway, that is a little bit about the skill tree, and let's play a bit of Iron Man. Activate all these little dudes.
They've got nothing on us. Have a night, sweetheart.
There we go, that's a parry. There's your rockets. So there's a fun little combo in this where you can punch people and then hit them with a rocket. And they fly away. Probably not these guys because they're super easy to kill, but I'll do it on someone later on.
Enemies engaged, y'all.
So hold the rockets down. Oh, he's run away. Handy. Come here, you. And it hits him into the air. So lasers. Don't use the lasers too much. Probably should, but I seem to have found my groove with the rockets, so I keep those. Let's wait for the next wave, and I'll try and do the heroics at people while they're around me. There we go. So, support heroic is your dome, as I mentioned. So that will electrocute people, and then if anyone tries to shoot you while you're in this, you're protected, and it also sorts out anyone's energy, so it'll build up Hulk's energy, things like that. Lasts for a little while. So that's your support heroic, that'll defend everyone. Impulsors, as we know, we can hit people with those, so do a bit of that.
Oh, you picked the wrong ship. This guy's not getting back up.
So I do find it quite handy that his power moves are like automatically ranged attacks. There we go, there's your pin particles, so that'll show you that they shrink. You can choose who you should shoot. There we go. Here's the barrier. He's just hit it, so it's already starting to go red.
I'd run if I were you. Well, I don't.
Right, so we've got Unibeam.
You want to see all my weapons? Okay.
See, I made it last longer with the perks. It looks like Kate is just a head and an arrow.
They've got nothing on us.
That's quite funny. So you still get the occasional glitch like you do with most games, I guess, but not very often. I haven't actually encountered that many, but that's quite funny, just seeing there is a little head bobbing around. There we go. Right, so let's see if I can do this combo. There you go, make him fly away on the rocket. Let's see this guy. See what I mean? They fly away. And all this stuff, as I mentioned, you just go while you're playing into the skills. Go to speciality and you can change it whenever you want to do something else. You can also set off your support heroic in the air, so it makes more of a dome. She's really not coming back to life, is she?
Of cake or pie. Pie is good too.
And now we'll do Hulkbuster. So if I put it below me,
Hey! Where did this thing come from?
there we have it. Fight as Hulkbuster.
Now it's the
You have
party!
all the moves that I'll just pop back in.
Come on, pal!
All the moves that you've got as the Hulk and then some, and then you've also got things like this Rocket Barrage. Just nails everything with rockets. You can fly, you can do all of your normal attacks, but they're just a bit more powerful. And obviously you're a bit shielded in the Hulkbuster as well, and then it disappears, and you're back. But as I mentioned, if I held that down, it'll go along the floor to whoever you want to, and if they want to accept and go into the Hulkbuster, they just have to press the button, and you can give it away, should you choose to. So there's your shield.
This is don't look directly at
Do that again. Show everyone that it lasts quite a long time, and the more you focus it on one person, the more damage it does. That's just how I've got it set up. Yeah. And then, as I mentioned, you can fly around and attack people as well. There we go, so that's playing Iron Man. So that's all your 6 characters there. I really wanted to do take down, but Cap took its head off. Such is life. Let's take down.
You can save your applause until later.
See if we can get another one in.
Someone keep it
Stylish.
score here, 'cause I gotta be winning.
Another one. Shoot with the UDB. So you see what I mean by the rockets doing a lot of damage with these guys, because it hurts everyone around them. So that's why I like using it. They're good in battles in crowds. And there we go, that's Iron Man. So, last but not least, a couple of tips for you. If you go to gear on here, this is what you're going to be getting when you're going around and just looting everything. My main tip really is to just play the story and enjoy it. Have a look around for things, like explore all the areas just in case there are any boxes and storage boxes that will give you some gear, but really just enjoy it and take it all in and have a lot of fun with it. After the game, that's when you've got all the, after the story, so to speak, you've got loads of different missions, as I mentioned before, to do, loads of different types. You can play them solo or with other people, but this is what you're trying to get. So you're trying to get different gear pieces. They don't change the aesthetics of your character, that's your skins and outfits, but they do give you different perks. You see in the little box, it gives you 3 perks on here. Now what you do is upgrade all of these gear pieces. So where it says at the very bottom of that box there, it says max power 10 out of 10, so you've got 10 different stages of upgrading it, and that will level up your stats. And your stats up here, so it says melee rating, ranged, heroic, which is your special moves, and defense, and you level up those as much as you want to depending on the gear that you've got. My best advice would be just to equip whatever the highest gear is that you think is going to help you, and then upgrade the perks on it, and then leave it, and don't start upgrading gear until you get to the highest level gear, which is 130, because then you'll have so many resources that you'll be able to upgrade it to the maximum level, which is 150, your power level 150 up here. So mine's on 147. So just wait, be a bit patient, unlock the perks so that you can use those. So just upgrade the gear to get you those perks. But yeah, just wait to unlock everything fully and upgrade everything fully. You can keep some gear, so you've got all these slots here to keep certain amounts of gear, but if you destroy them, it gets you more resources to help you upgrade. And you also have minor and major artifacts here. Major ones are unlocked by doing certain tasks in the story and after the story, and they'll give you certain perks and they upgrade everything, all of your different ratings, and they'll give you a different ability as well. Minor artifacts just give you different perks, but to everything, to your general character, instead of just one thing like your ranged or your defense, things like that. And they are upgradable too. But that's it. That's the best bit of advice, is just enjoy it, but also just save some of those, some of your upgrades. That's it. That's our little playthrough today. It's a bit longer than I expected, but you've seen all 6 characters, and a little bit about the skills, a little bit about cosmetics. Got a lot of cosmetics for Iron Man, unlocked a lot of stuff, and your challenge card. I'd say the challenge card is probably one of my favourite bits about it, because it gives you something to work towards. And it also unlocks a lot of stuff, a lot of nameplates, a lot of character outfits that are usually iconic ones, like ones from the comics. And it gives you loads of credits per character, and credits is something that you can buy things with. So whether you buy it with real money or with these, it's up to you. But if you just play the game and do these challenges, you essentially get free money to buy stuff in the game, which is great. You also get these units, which you can go onto the helicarrier or other places and buy certain bits of gear or certain costumes, outfits, nameplates, emotes, whatever, with these as well. So it's just giving you lots of different currency. It's great. So I hope that's helped, and I hope that you've enjoyed it and seen a little bit of each character and like what you see. Let me know in the comments if you do. Thank you to everyone again who's liked and subscribed to the channel. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I don't know what I'm going to start playing next. There's a few story-driven things that I want to play first before I go back to this. So I'll do a bit more of Buffy. I might play A Plague Tale, or maybe like Last of Us 2 or something like that. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, bye for now. Cat is still sleeping. There we go. She loves it. Loves a good nap. Yeah. Bye for now.